Hi everyone, I'm adding this disclaimer here to hopefully address some potential questions. See, I usually film my videos in bulk on my trips to theme parks. Therefore, I have quite a few backlogged that just haven't been released. Problem is that when the parks start to reopen in mid-July, they're going to look a lot different than what is pictured in my videos, and I just don't want to confuse viewers. So what I'm going to do is post as many as I can up until Walt Disney World begins to open on July 11th. So that's a video every day for the next 3 weeks or so. Once the park reopens, we'll work on showing you what they look like in real time. But for now, enjoy this walk through the parks of 2019. Well, hello there. I am Brian from touringplans.com, and I'm pretty sure you guessed where I am, and that is Disneyland in California. Standing in front of the original castle, Sleeping Beauty's castle, much more petite than Cinderella's at Disney World. But it is a beautiful castle. Just got a new paint job right before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened. I am kind of standing right in the middle of the bridge here. There is the hub behind me. But it was much busier out there than it is in this little alcove like that one that I'm standing in. So that is where I'm starting this video. I'm going to start a tour of Fantasyland by walking, well, straight through the castle. Now that is a drawbridge right there in the castle, and yes, it does work. I believe it has only been actually raised twice, and that was when the park first opened in July of 1955. It was lowered to let the children of the world enter Disneyland. And when they redid Fantasyland in the 80s, it was raised so people couldn't go through. Now the Fantasyland here used to have the kind of medieval tent style that we have in Florida, but in, like I said, in the early 80s, it was redone completely. It still looks medieval, but not so many tents, more, actual buildings. They do not have the mosaic here like they do in Cinderella's castle, but there is a castle walkthrough right over there where you can see the story of Sleeping Beauty. And very much like the Walt Disney World version, you kind of enter into this corridor where you are looking straight at the carousel. The Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique here is over there. But there are quite a few rides in this Fantasyland, and they are very close together. It is kind of shocking for people used to Walt Disney World that come here for the first time how little you actually have to walk to get to attractions. This one with the long line here is, of course, Peter Pan's Flight. It is just as popular here as it is in Walt Disney World. And it is basically the same ride. This side is Snow White's Scary Adventures, very much like the one that used to be in the Magic Kingdom and now isn't. It's where Princess Fairytale Hall is now. Pinocchio's Daring Journey here. I feel like people don't know this is the entrance to a ride half the time, because this morning I literally walked on. Just no one was in there. It seems to always have a shorter wait than the others. You can hear the announcements from the carousel is kind of here on my left. Now, much like the Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom, you can turn two ways. I'm going to start going left here, keeping Dumbo on my right. Dumbo is still in its original position here. They haven't added a second one or changed it, meaning that the line here gets longer than it does in the Magic Kingdom. Up here is something you don't have in Florida, and that is a Casey Jr. circus train. Those little trains, yes, you can sit in those cars, and I have been crammed in there. Not a lot of headroom. And that just kind of drives around, and you see miniature versions of castles and things from Disney favorites. Something you can also see from the Storybook Land Canal Boats, which we'll see when we get to the other side. Here is the Red Rose Tavern. It is a quick service eatery, and then bathrooms. That is it for this side. It doesn't go very far. Like I said, Fantasyland here is not particularly big, but they have so many rides just packed into it that it gets, if possible, more congested than the Fantasyland and the Magic Kingdom. The park has only been open about 2 hours. It does not seem like a very busy day, and I am dodging people like crazy trying to talk to you. So the Dumbo here is a lot like the newer ones that they built now at the Magic Kingdom, where it has this beautiful water feature underneath it. Of course, the old Dumbo that was in the middle of Fantasyland didn't have that. This side, to orient you again, there's the castle back there. Peter Pan's flight is just around that corner. Right here is one of my favorite Fantasyland attraction. It is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, a ride again like Snow White's Scary Adventures that we did have in the Magic Kingdom until Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was built where Mr. Toad used to be. One of the few rides where you end up in hell, and that's an odd thing for a ride. So here is the Storybook Lane Canal Boats. You can always tell where it is because of, well, Monstro. Very neat looking Monstro that you go right through the mouth of as you're on the boat, as those people are down here. And this takes you past those miniatures of castles and things that I mentioned. You can also see from Casey Jr. Circus Train. They are both very interesting, kind of old-fashioned rides. They both load very slowly. Storybook Lane Canal Boats seems to have a much longer line most of the time. One of the very cool things here at Fantasyland in Disneyland is that the teacups, well, they're not covered. I mean, they are shaded slightly, but there's no roof on it. You are just exposed to the elements because it's California, and it just doesn't rain here every day like it does in Florida, and it gives it a very, very neat look, especially at night when all these lanterns are lit and you're just kind of out in the open air spinning like madmen. Now, I'm at a choke point here, apparently. Okay, made it through. Around this way here, we have two more rides that we just don't have in the Magic Kingdom. One of them over here is Alice in Wonderland. You can kind of see the little bugs going around on the roof over there. It's kind of an indoor-outdoor dark ride. One of my favorites here. Actually, I know I already said Mr. Toad is my favorite ride in Fantasyland. That's a pretty close, maybe first. I don't know. I really, really like the Alice in Wonderland ride. Doesn't exist anywhere else except here. And then right here under the monorail track, we have the Matterhorn, something that is basically the park icon. You can see it from almost everywhere. It is a very, very rough tubular steel roller coaster, but a classic ride here. Another one that they just don't have anywhere else. I mean, it's a mountain. Getting towards the end of Fantasyland here, we are heading towards It's a Small World back there, which this is the original It's a Small World from the 1964 World's Fair in New York that was then moved out here and installed. This one, you actually start outside. You load outside, then go into the building. In this one, they have modified it. They've actually added Disney characters. So, for instance, when you're in the South Pacific room, instead of just, you know, the Mary Blair stylized South Pacific children, you also get Lilo and Stitch. I imagine a lot of people don't like that. I don't mind it. My kids really like it. Like, you can still see the Matterhorn back there. I totally see that thing from everywhere. But one thing that everybody loves about this small world is this facade. It is this gorgeous white facade. That clock in the middle will open like the one at Magic Kingdom will, although it's a lot more visible here. They actually do projections on here for, you know, they have seasonal shows that will do projections like they do on Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom. They'll do onto It's a Small World here. And I can't think of any better place to end this video than standing in front of this, one of the classic Walt Disney attractions. But I thank you very much for watching. Be excellent to each other.